Good morning, friends, and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were subdued as there was no major economic data points to look at. The retail sales data that came out were marginally negative, as the growth was only about 0.1 odd percent. European markets were up about 0.5%, and when we look at the Asian markets, most of the markets are inching up, including Nikkei and some of the other Asian markets. Remember, the Chinese markets are shut for the whole week due to New Year. And in case of Japan, there are two important events to watch out for. One is that the Bank of Japan policy meet is lined up over the next couple of days. So the market would want to know what kind of rate action one can expect from there. Also, the GDP data that came out from Japan for the recent quarter were weak, and the GDP contracted by about 0.1% for the quarter, as against the expectations of a 0.1% kind of a growth. And when we look at the flows, the FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of 900 crore, and the domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 290 crore, and even in index futures, the FIs were net buyers to the tune of about 220 crore. Friends, we have been pointing out that the extent of selling by the domestic institutional investors is likely to recede, and which is what we are seeing for the past couple of days. Though the market is not reacting positively, as we had seen some amount of bounce back in yesterday's trade as well, but the market was not able to sustain that up move. Also, importantly, the advanced decline or the breadth of the market is clearly not showing any kind of improvement. But overall, our fillers are there. If the 5900 level is held, then given the kind of flows that we are seeing and the fact that we are going to have some important data points like inflation and key numbers like State Bank and Tata Motors, then the market could give some amount of pullback. That's what the expectation is, subject to it holding about 5900 levels. And on that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning, friends. Let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, from past couple of trading sessions, we have been seeing that the market breadth is too weak, and due to which markets are unable to sustain the bounces. And in yesterday's trade also, we have seen the same thing happening. Nifty opened gap up but was unable to sustain on the higher side, and during later part of the day it gave off all the gains, and it finally ended in red. In spite of FIs being net buyers by around 1700 crores in yesterday's trade, we have seen some short positions have been building up in the market, and we still maintain an outlook. Outlook intact that 5,900 on closing basis would act as a good support. But if markets are unable to sustain those levels, then further downside can be seen in the market, purely because of 2 to 3 reasons. The PCR ratio is stable at 0.99. If you have a look at the activity on the options front, 5,900 put option stands with highest number of shares in the open interest. In addition to this, we have seen that 5,900 call option has also seen some good addition. So 5,900 remains a crucial level, and on lower side 5,700 and 5,800 strikes stand with highest number of shares in open interest after 5,900, whereas on the higher side, or say call side, 6,000 and 6,200 call option has seen a good activity. So what we feel broadly market would trade in this range of say 5,900 and 6,000. But yes, we need to watch 5,900 levels very closely. From intraday perspective, we have identified two stocks, and that is on the negative side. ITC is looking weak, so one can go short with stop loss of 305 rupees 15 paisa. NTPC is looking weak, so one can go short with stop loss of 150 rupees 20 paisa. Thank you.
As I said before, it's going to be a very important day in terms of data and events, and today here are the things that we are looking at. First of all, Tata Steel came out with a disappointing set of numbers yesterday, and both at the top line level, the numbers were not good. The actual top line growth was minus 3% versus the expectations of a flattish to a marginal improvement in the growth. And the bottom line number was 763 crore of loss against the general expectations of about 194 to about 250 crore of loss. Also, the Indian operations, the margins were a bit lower. So overall, the numbers are extremely weak, but a large part of this weakness has already been factored in the price. So there could be some reaction in the morning session, but we think that there could be some kind of a bounce back because of short covering during the course of the day. Some important changes expected in the NSE index with effect from 1st of April, wherein IndusInd Bank and NMDC are going to be coming in, and Wipro and Siemens are likely to move out. So watch out for some positive action in IndusInd Bank and NMDC in today's market. Also in MSCI Gorgeous Index, the People Insurance has been added and Maruti Suzuki has been removed from that index. So this could be a bit negative for Maruti Suzuki as well. And petrol and diesel prices are likely to be hiked over the weekend. Petrol price by 1 rupee a litre and diesel prices by 50 paise a litre. So this is something that would have implications for the oil marketing companies and companies like ONGC. So watch out for some positive action in BPCL, HPCL, IOC and ONGC in today's market. In another important development, the WPI inflation for the month of January is going to be out, and there the expectations are that it's going to be 6.98% versus about 7.18 in the previous month, which is definitely positive, because if the inflation data keeps coming down and we have a reasonably positive budget, then the RBI could go ahead and do further rate cuts. So this is something that we will have to watch out for. And the core inflation that we are looking at is about 4% versus about 4.2 last month. From a Sharekhan fundamental research update, the opto circuit, which was an idea under coverage, has been dropped mainly due to the corporate governance issues and the flip-flop that the management did over the credit rating on its working capital. Though the operational environment looks to be improving, the comfort towards the credibility and the corporate governance is pretty much missing. So we are exiting that stock idea from our coverage. In case of telecom, some negative news, as the telecom department has issued notices to Vodafone, Bharti, Arcom for excess spectrum usage, and this could be a bit of negative for companies like Bharti and Arcom. So there could be some negative reaction in today's market. Important results today. State Bank of India, we are looking at a net profit of about 3687 crore. The key things to watch out for is what kind of net interest income growth are they reporting. The NPLs and the slippages or the provisioning part is something that the market is keenly watching out for. Also Tata Motors, the net profit that we are looking at is about 2833 crore. Remember friends, on a standalone basis, the Indian operations could report a loss, but mainly because of the global better numbers of JLR, there could be some amount of profit. So the market is a little negative on the Tata Motors this time around, and DLF we are looking at a net profit of about 458 crore. Coal India reported extremely good set of numbers, and the net profit was a little better than expectations, so one can go long on Coal India with a stop loss of 341 and a target of about 358 to about 365. Lanco Infra is in talks with the few financial investors to sell stake in 3 power units that they have to fetch about 2,500 crore. So one can go long on Lanco Infra with a stop loss of 11.5 and a target of about 12 to about 12.5. Crompton Greaves, some positive news is there is going to be a JV between Crompton and the Saudi transformer company to set up a transformer factory in Damnam, and one can go long on Crompton Greaves with a stop loss of 101 and a target of about 106 to about 108. Some positive news for GMR Infra as it sells 74% stake in an expressway to Macquarie SBI, so one can go long on GMR with a stop loss of 17.6 and a target of about 18.5 to 19. That's it from all of us friends. Have a nice trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.